Yo, in today's video, I'm going to be ranking all of the weapons that we know of currently in Arc Raiders, and I'm going to be predicting if they're going to be good or bad. This tier list will be based off the weapon's stats, how I think they're going to function or balance, and how good they are in general. We're going to be going through all the weapons, how they shoot, if they're burst, full fire, single fire, all of the shenanigans. Alright, let's get into this video. Alright, let's start off with a Stitcher. I think the Stitcher is either gonna be absolutely trash or actually really good when upgraded. The Stitcher is basically an SMG that's really good in close range, but it didn't see its place to shine in the Tech Test 2 because the armor was very strong, which negates damage, and SMGs just weren't that good in general. But I think when the game launches, that Stitcher might actually be really good. Surprisingly, I'm gonna put it in A tier. It is a common, so just for that reason, I think I'm gonna put it down in A. Otherwise, I actually might have put it in S tier. Now, why do I think this weapon will be good? I think this weapon will be really strong close range, where you're gonna have like a decent amount of ammo to get a kill or two. Next up is the Hairpin. The Hairpin is like a bolt pistol. It's like a suppressed pistol. I also think this actually might be very good, especially in solo play. I don't even think that picking up a Hairpin and just going in for those sneaky silent kills is that bad of an idea, because in solo play and when you scale the weapon, I think this weapon has potential. So I'm actually gonna put it above the Stitcher, because I think if you play with the Hairpin correctly, this could be an absolute demon. Alright, let's move on to the Kettle. The Kettle is a semi-automatic assault rifle that's very quick and accurate, but has very low bullet velocity. I actually just think the Kettle might just be like maybe a C. I don't think it will outshine any of the other weapons, to be honest. So I'm gonna put it at a C. Alright, next up is the Rattler. The Rattler was probably one of the most consistent assault rifles, especially for its rarity in the tech test. Also, when upgraded, this thing becomes a demon. I think this weapon will probably dominate the A tier and probably close to low S tier, because I think the scaling for this and consistency for the weapon is just really good. It's just an all-around really good assault rifle. It works very decently in close range, very good medium range, kinda mid long range. So I think the Rattler will be probably one of the best common weapons, unless you're going for very niche kind of play styles with these for close range. So that's why I think Rattler is probably going to be the best common, as well as it's going to be one of the best options for mid-range combat. I don't think anything else will compete as much or as well as Rattler. Honestly, I might move it to S tier, and I might just move it back down later. We'll see what else comes up. For now, I'm gonna put it in S tier. Next up is the Pharaoh. Pharaoh is a break action rifle, which is kind of like a hunting rifle in a way. And if you land your shots with this, it can go hard. I think this is really strong medium and long range, and it can from time to time work really well in close range if you do those sneaky like quick peeks with headshots or even body shots in close range. So I think the Pharaoh's gonna be very strong, to be honest. It could honestly be close to S tier along with the Rattler. I'm gonna move this to A tier actually, because there are better blue weapons that are kind of similar, that are just better. That's why I think I'm just gonna move these to A tier. But you could argue, because they don't cost as much resource wise, especially when you upgrade them, they could move to S tier, especially for like runs where you don't want to sacrifice too much loot. I think these two are like really good. I might move these down to B tier because it's very hard to compete with these, but they are really good close range, so I'll keep them here for now. Actually, no, I'm gonna move this to B tier. I think this looks good right here, because you can't really compete with Pharaoh and Rattler. They work really well close range, medium range, long range, unlike the SMGs down here. Bruletta. I think Bruletta is a very slept on pistol. I think the Bruletta is gonna go absolutely demonic in the launch. I have a lot of high hopes for this. It's basically just a pistol, just a normal pistol that shoots very fast. When upgraded, it actually can go hard, especially if you land those headshots. So I think I'm gonna put Bruletta in low A tier. Alright, Anvil. Anvil absolutely dominated the tech test. They did say they're going to patch this because it was super broken, but I still think it's going to land at launch. I think the Anvil is going to be like, I think the Bruletta is genuinely might be better than the Anvil. I'm not even trolling. I do think so. I think the Anvil is gonna get nerfed and it's gonna become kinda mid, to the point where Bruletta might or will have a chance versus the Anvil most of the times. But against like killing mobs, I think the Anvil will always be superior, because it does a lot of damage and it doesn't take that much ammo. So I'm just gonna put it at A tier for now, even though I would love for this weapon to still be good. Alright, next up is the El Toro. It's a shotgun and a really good one at that. Honestly, I love shotguns. I think shotguns are such cool weapons for some reason, and they're very, very cheesy. So if you want to go for that sneaky 1 to 2 tapper on someone from behind and just clap their cheeks with a shotgun, it could go so hard. I think it'll be close to the anvil. Like, shotguns are just broken point blank, obviously. I think the shotgun will be really, really strong. I'm gonna put it at A tier. I also think it will be kind of decent medium range. I'm not even trolling. And the scaling on this weapon also can go really hard. The Apregio. It's a burst rifle. I do think full autos are kind of better than burst sometimes. I don't think burst is like actually that good, but honestly, I think the Arpeggio could probably land itself a very good B tier, especially if you hit those triple headshots on someone. I do think the Pharaoh and Rattler will most likely win long range and mid range battles though. That's why I think this is actually very solid placement with this burst weapon. Next up is the Venator. It's a double barrel pistol. Honestly, I think the Venator will be very, very strong. I'm not even joking. A pistol might seem weak, but I think the Venator will see its place to shine. I think the burst and the damage on this weapon goes absolutely insane. That's why I'm gonna put the Venator at A+. Next up is the Renegade. It's a lever action rifle. It's very similar to Pharaoh. It has really good accuracy, really high damage, and it's just really strong all around. Honestly, I'd be surprised if Renegade doesn't somehow make it in SS plus or even S tier. I think I'm putting the Renegade at SS though. It's just absolutely insane, and the damage it does is just crazy, especially medium to long range. I just can't see this weapon losing that many fights. Next up is the Osprey. It's a semi-automatic sniper rifle-ish, and it's really, really good long range. But I don't think this will actually be that strong as much as the Renegade. I think it will be like close to. I'll definitely put a high 80 because it is a sniper rifle. Sniper rifles are kind of broken, so I think it'll be at a A+. I don't think it'll be too broken to the point where it'll one-shot anyone, but I don't think it'll be very bad either. It will definitely take out an opponent in the open if you're looking for some sniper shots. So I'm putting this at A tier. Alright, next up is the Torrent. It will be similar to the Rattler, where it's like a very... It's kind of like an LMG. It will definitely win over fights over the Rattler. Now, will it win over upgraded Rattler, especially for resources? I'm not too sure. I think they're both kind of similar weapons, but I think the Torrent is just a little bit better because it works like an LMG and it has a lot of ammo, very decent damage, and it's just good all around. So I think Osprey on Torrent will probably be at the top of A tier for sure. Next up is the Volcano. It's another shotgun, and I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, I think this is gonna be absolutely broken. I think this will literally most likely 1 to 2 shot you most of the time and even destroy light medium range, especially if you hit those insane full body shots. So I think Volcano will be like literally crazy. Next up is the Bobcat. Bobcat was actually very trash in the tech test. It just didn't do that much damage, and it took like a full clip to just kill, to barely get a kill even. So I think this will actually get a buff because it's an SMG, and SMGs were really, really shit in the tech test. I think the SMGs are gonna get a very, very bright buff when their game releases. So I think the Bobcat will actually be close to S tier now. Before, I would have actually put it like B tier. So I hope I see the Bobcat being S tier. Otherwise, if it doesn't get much changes, it's going C tier. It's just not worth it, even especially since it's a purple. But for now, I think I'm gonna put an S. I take that back. I think I'll put it like at a mid A tier. I think other weapons will still like destroy. I mean, we'll see. But my prediction is gonna be like very balanced A tier-ish. I don't think it'll. Yeah, I think I'll put it at A tier because it will take a full clip to kill one person. Next up is the Tempest. Very high fire rate rifle. I just don't think you can go wrong with this weapon. And I don't think it will be bad in the tech test. I think Tempest will probably be SS plus tier. And if it's any lower than that, then I'll probably be disappointed. To be honest with you guys, no bias or anything, but I love the Pharaoh so much. I think I'm gonna move this up to S tier because it's very easy to get and probably one of the best long range options you will ever have for such a cheap weapon. So I think I'll put this on an actual S tier now that I think about it again. Alright, let's move on to the final 2 weapons of the game, which are 2 legendaries. the Jupiter. The Jupiter is actually a slug shotgun. So it's basically like a bolt action sniper fused with a shotgun, which what we usually call slug shots. I think Jupiter won't even be that broken. I think it'll be like close to the Pharaoh. I'm not even joking. I think Pharaoh versus Jupiter 1v1s. Okay, I do think Jupiter will most likely win, but Pharaoh has a stupid amount of crazy chance against the Jupiter. That's gonna be my prediction on the Jupiter, especially since it's a legendary. I'd be very surprised if they undertune the legendary, which I have a feeling they might do. I feel like the legendaries will get undertuned, like way more than you think they will. Next up is the Equalizer. The Equalizer is one of the only weapons that takes energy ammo. I'm gonna put it at a crazy rating here, but I'm gonna predict the Equalizer is gonna be actually dog shit. I think they're gonna undertune the legendary weapons by so much that the Equalizer isn't even gonna feel like a legendary. My prediction is the Equalizer is actually gonna be trash. I'm not even trolling. But I think the Equalizer will actually be one of those weapons that will take out mobs instantly. Like Equalizer against the Queen or like some crazy bosses in the game. I think it will just absolutely destroy. So I think my final verdict is, instead of trash, I'll put like boss killer. Like NPC boss killer type shit. Mob slash boss killer. I think the Equalizer won't actually be a very strong PvP weapon. It's gonna be very strong in PvE though. Anyways, I think this is my weapon tier list predictions for Arc Raiders. Let me know what you guys think. This is obviously based off the tech test and a little bit of like what the weapons do and how they perform slash how I think they will scale. But I think this is actually a really solid tier list, and I'd be surprised if some of these weapons somehow make it up to SS tier out of nowhere. But honestly, let me know what you guys think. I hope you guys learned a couple things about some weapons and their playstyles. And if you did, I'd really appreciate a like and a sub, as it would mean so much to me, guys. Much love, guys. See you guys in the next video. I am so pumped to post more Arc Raiders content. Now keep in mind, this is based off tech test, so don't take anything too personal. Do take this with a grain of salt. And that's pretty much it. Much love, guys. See you guys in the next video.